I often get requests from clients for sales, purchases, and leases in North York, which include mostly at Henry's Farm, Bayview Village, and Don Valley Village, which are all within the municipality of C15, according to the Toronto Real Estate Board. This is an area with a high concentration of condos because it is attached to Subway Line 4 and connects to downtown in under 20 minutes. Not only is the TTC so convenient, but it is also connected to major highways in DVP 404 and 401, making this location excellent for driving or taking public transit. If you are planning to buy, sell, or rent a condo in this area of North York, I will make a thorough analysis in this video. Stick around right after this. Hey, welcome back to another video on the AV Team Real Estate channel. I'm Antonio and I am a local real estate agent in the GTA. If you have been enjoying the weekly video from this channel, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so that it can be shared with more people who want to get updated on the real estate market in Toronto. Greatly appreciate it. If you have any inquiries about the real estate, don't hesitate to contact me via the first link in the description down below. We just had the latest Toronto Real Estate Board report just July. I could quickly go through the condo average prices overall in Toronto, which are still down 2.2% year over year for July, and that is mainly affected by the record high in active listings that were up from 15,360 last year in the same month to 23,877 in July 2024. Again, let me go through the location of the municipality in C15. We are basically bordered on the east by Highway 404, on the north is Finch, on the west is Leslie, and on the south is Shepherd. Here is the condo market in the Toronto C15 area in North York. And on the left, we have the whole full year from 2023, the average prices, the sales, and the days on the market. On the right side, we have the 2024 average prices, sales, and days on the market as well. But as of recording of this video, we are in the early August, so I'm just gonna go up to the data completely on July of 2024 as a comparison. We start off the year with 647,000 in January from 2023. The sales was one of the lowest, which is typically normal for the winter, starting with lower sales at 40. Days on the market is at 29, which is roughly about a month time. Moving to February, and the average prices has increased to 712,000 and the sales has slightly gone up to 48. Days on the market remain pretty much the same at 28. Now moving to the spring market in March, the price remained the same, almost identical, but the sales has come up because of the spring market in 2023, and the days on the market has gone just slightly a few days less at 23. So the spring market actually didn't really had a big spark because the average price has come down to 710, which is still relatively the same, but the sales reached the peak at 100 sales, which is the highest for the entire year in 2023, and the days on the market has gone down a little bit, 2 days less than the previous month, which seems to be good. And in May, the average price has gone up to 734,000. The sales has come down a little less than 100, which is quite disappointing. However, it has started to come down. The days on the market have been just around the 2 weeks mark at 14. And June and July supposed to be one of the significant dates for last year because the Bank of Canada decided to raise the interest rate in 2003 in June and July. So that reflects the sales as a result. We have come down from 89 sales to 68 in June. July was a little bit better, but still down to 74. However, the average prices have come down to just below the 700 mark since February, and the days on the market is roughly about 22 days in July. Now in August, we have expected a lower sales, which they did, which it went down to 68 sales. Average prices is quite surprising to see that increase to 721,000, and the days on the market has come down to 18. In September, supposedly to be the fall market, which is the second highest season for real estate, it didn't do too well, and the sales has come down from 68 to 58. The average price has come down as well to 680,000. And the days on the market is still hovering at 22. October average price has increased a little bit, but the sales again dropped to 50, and then the days on the market is right at 20. In November and December, which is starting to be the winter time, usually it's not a good real estate time, where people just spending time during the Christmas, which typically happen in December, and as a result we have the lowest sales of the entire year, 39, and the days on the market increased to 35 days on the market, which is very normal. And just taking a look at the overall in 2023, we started off with 647,000 and ended up in December at 690,000, still a little bit up in terms of average pricing, and sales from 40 to 39, average days on the market for 35, which this shows like how resilient the sellers are in terms of average pricing. Now let's look at the data in 2024. We started off the year with 659,000, which is a little bit higher than last year in January at 40, and we have 48 sales to start the year. Average price was down from last month from 690 in December last year. We built up some momentum in February to increase the average price to 722,000, and the sales has increased to 60, which is creating a great momentum. At the time, most people were hoping the Bank of Canada could start looking at cutting rate. However, most of the people were anticipating a rate cut since the inflation is somewhat tame. But as you can see, in January, the rate announcement decided to hold the rate, which it wasn't as great as people anticipated, and that also slowed down in terms of sales, because simply the rate reflects to the real estate market where the sales is not as high as once hoped. In March, average prices has increased to 750,000, and the sales still climbing just a tad bit to 69, and the days on the market is actually at the highest at 33, which pretty much telling us the market wasn't really that great, because the condo just sitting much longer on the market. And also at the same time, the inventory and the active listing are going at a rapid rate, which is probably historic high. So with the combination of not enough sales and also with that much amount of inventory, it simply means the market is kind of stagnant. And as a result, the highest season in spring, we did not get a lot of action. However, it did improve to 80 in April, but if you compare to last year in 2023, we had 100 in April, which is a drop off of 20 transactions, which is quite a lot in this real estate market. The days on the market was still relatively the same compared to last year. And just want to also remind you that the March announcement for the interest rate, the Bank of Canada decided to hold the rate at 5 and did not further improve the market. As you can see, we have a drop off of average pricing to 696,000, and the sales dropped from 80 to 64, even further down. And the days on the market starting to also trending up at 22. So now in June was one of major event happened in the real estate market. As you can see, in June, finally after many months, the Bank of Canada decided for the first time to drop the rate by 0.25% in June. And as a result, here in North York part of the C15, the price increased to 753,000 from 696, and also the sales has started to increase to 73 and also up from last year in June. Indication of the market didn't really pick up that much. Average days on the market has increased from 22 to 25. And just to want to remind you, the inventory is still relatively historic high. This sales of little increase really didn't spark the market in spring. And finally, in July, we have another rate cut, which really this time didn't do much. Instead, we have actually a decline of sales quite a bit from 73 to 57, and the days on the market pretty much remained the same as last month. From the beginning of the year, from 659,000, we reached 694,000 in July, which is a little bit of average pricing increase, but the market really didn't pick up after 2 rate cuts so far. We still have 5 months to go, but I am not very optimistic, as this part of the city is sitting at right now closer to 5 months of inventory. Although this is not the worst month of inventory location in Toronto, because I know that C8 and C1 is one of the core area in downtown, and they are reaching as high as 8 months of inventory. Now let's take a look at the condo market in Toronto C15 North York between 2023 and 2024. 2024, breaking it down to studio, 1 bed, 2 bed, and 3 beds, the average pricing. As of recording of this video, we are on August 8th, which we still have about 5 months to go, so just take this data as a partial data. And right off the bat, you can see the total sale of 758 in 2023 compared to currently at 451 sales only in 2024. And we have about over 300 units to catch up just the level of 2023, which is not looking great. But however, the average prices is quite resilient. As you can see, only studio unit we are down from last year from 495,000 to 437, but the sales has come down from 15 to 8 compared to a year ago. The 1 bed we are a little bit up from 593,000 to 613 currently, but the sales we are almost half of the sales from last year. And the 2 bedrooms we are also up about 50,000 in terms of average price, but again the sales are down from last year. And 3 beds we are a tad bit up from 1.069 million to 1.195, and the sale once again dropped from 30 to 19 currently. So this is an overall average prices breaking down from studio to 3 beds. Now I will show you some of the most recent sales in C15 municipality, mainly in Bayview Village, Henry Farm, and Don Valley Village, where the density of condo is the highest. I will go from a studio to 3 bedrooms. Drop a comment down below for other areas in which you may want me to make an analysis for the future, as many viewers tend to like my thorough analysis of specific areas. I hope you enjoyed this type of analysis because I find it helps you understand more about the current temperature of the market in the specific area. So now we're going through the condo here for the sole unit. Currently we're looking for studio, which is bedroom assigned to 0. The most recent sales I found is from June for any studio sales in July or August so far. As you can see, 275 Yorkland unit 1503 was sold in June of 26 of this year, and the square footage is basically under 499 square feet, and it took 30 days to sell. Let's take a look together. This has no parking. It took 30 days and it was listed for 399,000 and sold for 390. It went under the listing price. Let's take a look together on the property history to understand more about this sale. So from the property history, we can see that this unit was last leased in 2003 in January, and I believe since April of this year the seller currently listed for lease. It wasn't successful and he reduced the listing price for the lease from 2,100 to 1,950 in April as well. He tried throughout from April to May, but it wasn't successful getting the unit leased. So the seller decided to list it for sale May 27, and it took 30 days to sell it at 390,000 in June 26 of 2024. So it took 30 days to sell this unit for 390,000 for a condo unit here at Henry Farm. I wouldn't say it's easy to sell, but it took 30 days to sell it. And we have 188 Fairview Mall Drive unit 905 that was sold in June of 17. We only have 2 recent sales and also under 499 square feet. As you can see, this also doesn't have a parking space, and it listed for 388,000 and actually sold over the asking price to 415,000. This is definitely a unit that is newer than the 275 Yorkland, and this is just located across Fairview Mall, so the location is very convenient. So again, let's take a look at the property history. It was leased in May 30th of 2023, and this unit was transferred to the current seller for 299,000 October 5th of 2023, and eventually the current seller listed for sale on June the 2nd for 388,000 and sold it on June 17 for 415,000. So more or less a studio unit in this area you can expect somewhere into the low 400 currently at Henry's Farm. Now let's take a look one of the most recent sales for the 1 bedroom in Toronto C15, which is 18 Canaston Garden unit 103. We have a unit that was listed for 599,000, eventually sold for 552,000 within 23 days, and the square footage is under 699 square feet with 1 parking space. So let's take a look at the property history to see if this is really the case. This is a condo unit that is close by Shepherd and also Bayview. And here is the property history, and as you can see, there is a long history to go through. The last transfer to the current seller was done January of 2020 for $500,000. It means that it's probably around 4 years ago. Last year in 2023, during August 15, he tried to list it for $578,000, and after 2 weeks in August 24th, he changed the price to $655,000, which probably means that he was holding offer earlier for $578,000. It wasn't successful. He revealed the actual price of what the seller really expects at $655,000. Later on, he actually changed it to $659,000, and eventually it was terminated by the end of August of last year, and then relisted later on in September for practically the same price, $655,000. This is one of the process where the seller is currently experiencing this area for condos, just being kind of resilient on the price they wanted. As you can see, after 2 more months in November, he terminated the listing for $655,000, waited until this year in April 2024, he listed for $569,000, and then he price changed to $599,000 in early May. As you can see here, again, it wasn't successful and revealed his actual reveal price for $649,000 once again. Wouldn't be surprising, after a month in June 26, finally this listing was expired, relisted in July 9th, and took 23 days, as you can see now, that sold for $552,000. So from the expectation of $655,000 last year, he came down to $552,000 for a realization that the market really has dropped. So this is why I want to demonstrate. Sometimes you see the days on the market was only 23 days, but in reality, he started to sell since last year in August. So that took definitely longer than 23 days. This has come down significantly, 100,000 from what his expectation early was. Now let's take a look at the most recent sale for 2 bedrooms at Toronto C15, and this is 621 Shepherd Avenue, Unit 309 at Bayview Village. And this was listed for $688,000 and went under for $660,000. And this is a unit just below 899 square feet with 1 parking space, and it's a 2-bedroom. It was on the market for 11 days. So now let's dig deeper to see if it's really just took 11 days. Now this is the property history, and as you can see, there is a long history. To cut the story short, it was last leased in 2022. They tried to sell it in 2022, but it wasn't successful. Earlier this year, during June, is the first time they relisted for $798,000. After almost a month time, they ended up terminating the listing and relisted for $688,000 on July 23rd of 2024, which then took about 11 days to sell it. And as you can tell, this took basically more than 11 days to sell it, because they actually started to sell since June of this year. And again, it took quite some time for the seller to align to the current market price. It took a hit at least more than 100K of what they initially listed for. Again, just want to demonstrate the current struggle for the seller in this condo market at Bayview Village. So lastly, we are going to take a look at the most recent sale for 3 bedrooms, and we only see 1 sales that happened during July, which took place in July 24th of 2024, and this is 3181 Bayview Avenue, Unit 502, and it was listed for $1,650,000, and it was sold under the listing price at $1,530,000. This is a huge unit that is between 1,600 to 1,799 square feet, and it took a whopping 82 days to get this unit sold. It is a 3-bedroom with 2 baths and has a 1 parking space, and this is Bayview Woods Steels. The location is close to Bayview and Finch, and let's take a look at the property history together. So this one, it was quite simple. The current sellers bought it for $1,040,000 back in March 26th of 2024, and already looking to sell for whatever reason in May 3rd of 2024. As you can tell, it took about 82 days and sold it for $1,530,000. It took about 120 or 130,000 off from the initial listing price. Yes, that's the only sales of 3-bedroom in the area. I hope you enjoyed the North York condo market analysis, which will hopefully help you understand the pricing of condo closely located between Highway 404 and Leslie and Shepherd. The current struggles and challenges for sellers are real, and I hope that through this current sales analysis you can pick up a thing or two. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me via the contact information in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.